Let's have a warm Busch Gardens welcome for the Director Emeritus of the Columbus Zoo, Jungle Jack Hanna.
Thank you, everybody. Sorry y'all had to watch that trash, but anyway. That was in 1987, some of that stuff, so the reason I'm looking at it is I can't believe I did that. As a matter of fact, when David Letterman's last show, 100-something shows in 30 years, he looks at me, for a change, I thought he'd be nice to me. He said, Jack, you know what you are? One day, you're nothing but a walking encyclopedia of misinformation. Thank you, Dave, that's very nice of you. However, the first show I did with you, Dave, was a pink hippopotamus, and you're a jerk, an idiot, because it was a hippo, you called it a pig. So that's how I always had to battle him. But it was a lot of fun, and he is a very giving person, believe it or not, so he helped promote zoos throughout the world with animals as well. But it's great to be back, everybody. This is a special show for me today. You won't believe this, but 50 years ago, to almost this day, I spent my honeymoon here with my wife. Can you imagine having a wife on the honeymoon 50 years ago? I suggest all you guys, probably best if you get married, just don't take your wife. I brought her here, she loved animals, and we'll never forget as long as we live. So this is a special year for us. Coming here is a special year. 50 years ago, folks, I've been coming here, this car, I came here then, I've been here almost every single year for those 50 years. And you can say to yourself, well, why did I come here? And I'm not just sitting here promoting Busch Gardens. I'm promoting it because what I learned here about animals from day one, also your afterbuilt you have out here, has been used by zoos throughout the world. It's still out there, the same with us for many, many years, and that's what we did in Columbus by coming here as well. So it's just an honor to be here today, everybody, and you don't see a lot of animals today. And again, the David Letterman show, we're doing the Jacob Corden show right now, the Late Late Show, which he's from England, so he doesn't speak English, but I'm sorry for being, I don't even mean, my daughter married a British guy, all right? And she's been there for 21 years, and my grandson now is 12. He says, I don't speak proper English, you don't hold your cutlery the right way, whatever cutlery is. What is that? It's a knife and fork, you jerk. Okay, so therefore I have to learn different things now. So we'll show you an animal here. I don't know, my favorite animal, by the way, people ask me, is my wife. So there. She's not here, so I can say that. She doesn't care anyway. And my favorite place to go to is actually home if I can ever get there. Our first animal, let me see.
Oh, so cute.
By the way, this guy right here you see on the camera has filmed my shows for almost 16 years everywhere in the world. He's gone with this guy right here. Now, some of you are looking at these cats. These are the little clouded leopards. Now, some of you may be saying, oh, we take the animals away from the mothers to do a show. No, that's not what happens. Sometimes the animal rights people, we don't do that, everybody. This animal is very endangered. This animal's from Asia. It's called the clouded leopard. We can see it on the screen. I would like to walk these around, but it'd be very difficult for that because right now, I think you can see it pretty good. The lighting is a little bit too light though, but we'll see if we can change that for the next show. Anyway, the clouded leopard right here, everybody, has clouds on it. The cat is about this big, by the way. About this big. Now, that's full grown. The coat on that cat, about, I would say 15, 20 years ago, the coat of one cat, when they took them for people to sell the coats, was up to about, I would say, $10,000 to $15,000 for one cat's coat. That has all been stopped. The poaching's been basically stopped in Asia. Cloud leopard's nocturnal, and by the way, the jungles they live in, everybody, are jungles beyond even the Amazon. You can't even see from me that table in the daylight hardly. So I thought I'd go there and film it. That might have been the dumbest thing I ever did. The cats live 90% of their lives in trees. They never ever come down to the ground. The cat itself, the tail gets quite long when it's full grown. A lot of times, everyone, a lot of spotted cats. For example, in our country, our mountain lion, if that mountain lion's around and those babies are born, they're gone in 30 seconds. Less than 30 seconds. They're consumed. A lot of cats, especially spotted cats, for example, we have a great collection of cheetahs in Columbus. Sometimes she'll just walk away from the babies because it's her first birth. Some of the pictures I signed from the Columbus Zoo, have a Siberian tiger on the front. We had a Siberian tiger mother, one had pneumonia, she walked away from the other one. So you don't think we're going to let those animals that are dangerous sit there and just go naturally. So we will use this for education to show all of you all. We have a saying at the Columbus Zoo, and I'm sure here at Busch Gardens, touch the heart to teach the mind. And I ask the audience sometimes, I say, how many of you guys seen a tiger lately in India? No hands. How about a trout leopard? How about a certain whale somewhere? No hands in all the theaters I go to. And why am I doing that? Because we are the Busch Gardens, the zoos, the aquariums, SeaWorlds, are the arcs of the world, everybody. I'm not saying that because I've been in this business since 1990, a little boy, where I worked at a zoo cleaning cages in 1963. And I'll always remember that. No one ever mistreated animals, just the zoos weren't built as good as they are today. And we are the arcs of the world today. So that's to teach everybody, all of us, even me, even the children, that they can see these animals and they can look at the animals. If they can't love something, you can't save something. So I want you to see a very rare animal, a beautiful clouded leopard. And we brought it down to the Columbus Zoo. Thank you all very much for coming down. As a matter of fact, that young man right there, his father is the CEO of this whole park, but he works for us. Isn't that cool? His dad's going to beat my brains in it after that scene.
Happy too.
Now, this is a bird here. It's a toucan. I know a lot of you have seen them. There are many different types. You want to sit right where the camera can see it, everybody. If you can see up there, everybody, if you can see the coloring, it's one of the most spectacular birds in the world. Now, I've seen them when they have like 5 or 7 colors on their beak there and back underneath their eyes there. They're magnificent birds. Some people try to use those sometimes as a pet bird. That's very difficult, everyone. I'm not against anybody having a parrot. It's a parrot that, you know, is in a situation that might already have one that you have at home with a huge enclosure. But this animal here is very difficult. For example, if this animal eats a grape or a little piece of banana, it comes out the other end in about 30 seconds. So if you want to have a big mess, you can do it. But they're very difficult. That beak right there, by the way, I literally take about film in certain countries, and the beak might be on the ground because some other animal took its life. And that beak, you put the palm of your hand like this, it just blows like a feather right off. There is not one even ounce of weight in that beak right there. And they eat mainly fruits is what they eat. And it is a beautiful creature, but I would not suggest that one. About some people have birds and never need animals, but this one here is very difficult to raise. They do a great job with their birds here at the Busch Gardens. As a matter of fact, 1968 when I came here, the Busch Gardens, the brewery was back there, and most of the animals were like an alligator or some birds here. Very few animals. Now look what it's turned into today. A tremendous, beautiful conservation center here. So thank you so much for bringing out a beautiful toucan. It's gorgeous. How's it going, Turbo? I call him Turbo, by the way. Yeah, he's done a great job with.
Oh boy.
Now this is one thing I want. I'm gonna be over here.
Come on, dragon.
You want to play wherever you see the film.
Oh boy.
Is that what I think it is? Komodo dragon.
That's Komodo dragon.
Well, that's exciting. Komodo dragon, everybody. This is the largest lizard in the world, but he knows, this beautiful gentleman here, he knows how much bigger they get. That thing gets, what would you say, 4 or 5, he knows, I've seen them like this big.
Huge.
Pounds? Yeah, 80 to 90 pounds, they're huge. This, you see the tongue there? Come over here, just follow me, don't come after me. This animal, you see what he's doing right there? Feeling your heat out here. That's what that tongue is doing. That animal there, everybody, let's say there's a deer of some sort of wherever this animal in the Komodo Islands, off the coast of Africa. This animal is huge. This animal feels for that heat, what he's going to go after. He can go after, let's say, a huge hoofstock this big. All he has to do is bite that animal around the leg or somewhere. That animal can take off running. Of course, sometimes it'll drip with the, I know there's children in here, but obviously you adults know what's going to drip on the ground. That animal has been known to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 miles just with that tongue, smelling exactly where that animal goes. What will eventually happen to the animal is not venomous. It's the bacteria in his jaws are some of the worst than any animal on the planet Earth. If that animal is bitten by the thing, then that animal is not going to make it. I've seen one thing happen to a person, I will not mention the park out on the West Coast. The gentleman was bitten in the foot, and it was a mess. Let's put it that way. Again, that tail right there, these animals also, either argue or fight each other, or the males might, that tail right there becomes like a, what would you say, almost like a knife. And as they get bigger, the ridges there, just like razor blades. They take that thing and slap it around, it's like a knife. And the animal can go pretty fast, by the way. It's not just a little lizard that goes like this. So that's how they really hunt. So the bacteria in their mouth has to be one of the worst bites of any animal. It might not be like a cobra, a king cobra, which one drop of venom can kill an elephant. It's not that powerful. The bacteria in that is very powerful. Even here at Busch Gardens. But look at that closely, everybody, because you do not see a Komodo dragon in many parks in this country. They're one of the few parks that does have, and it also does a great job with Komodo dragon. The largest lizard in the world, and he gets bigger, by the way. Thank you so much for bringing that to Busch Gardens. You don't see that very often. If you get bit, just let me know. That way I can get out of here first. Now look at this animal. I don't know if I have this. Who said that? How do you know that? You were here after last year, that's why. Anyway, look at that closely up there on the screen, everybody. You can see it. Oh, let me see here. We might have to bring that around carry that around maybe. Let's see. The echidna, everybody, I just just have to carry it around. There we go. Perfect. Put it back down. Thanks, sweetie. The echidna, everybody, is an egg-laying mammal. What you're seeing here, there's only about 5 of these in the country. We brought this down to Columbus to show you all. This could be the parks as well. I don't know. We have one just like it. Not many parks have the echidna. It's an egg-laying mammal. Picture if you go home, you're going to go on a farm like I did, and your cow out there has a this animal here is an egg-laying mammal. Picture your cow at home laying an egg and not having a calf. Laying an egg. This is a mammal of the duck-billed platypus of Australia. Duck-billed platypus and the echidna lay eggs, and they're a mammal. Mammals don't lay eggs. There's only 2 in the world, and I just said that. This one here can get probably 2 or 3 times that big. And all my trips to Australia, I only filmed it one time, and it was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, they start coming out at night. And the animal came out of the hole and got here, and we only filmed it for about not even 1 minute. Took back down in the hole. So you don't see the animal very often. And this right here, you can see on the screen there. Well, that's stupid what I just did. I was trying to do it the other way. I was trying to go this way. Yeah, I'm sorry. Why don't you do it? Yeah. Anyway, those are like nails. It's not like a quill, all right? And that does not eject from the body like a porcupine. So that's the only means of defense this animal has. It's almost, if you look at it, it looks abnormal. Even the feet, if you look at the feet for a second, you'll see the feet of something that looks like this. They're not abnormal, that's just the animal. You see what I'm saying? And also the rear end back here, you'll see the quills, I say quills, they're back here on the tail, it's like a little tail. So let's say a dog or a dingo in Australia, a dog or a dingo goes after this thing to consume it, right? This animal here, you see the stage here? His whole life is spent in an area about twice as big, not very big at all. This animal lives in a hole in the ground, and this animal you can see has no means of defense other than the quills. They have little ants, worms, all kinds of things like that. And so they stay in this area and live there. So a dog or dingo comes after it, they go down to the hole, but they leave the bottom out, sticking out the hole. Now the animal doesn't go all the way down in there. Why does it do that? Because Mother Nature is incredible. The animal automatically knows to leave the tail out, so the dog or dingo bites him. What will happen is he's going to end up with 6 holes in his face, and who knows how many holes in his face. If that happens, that animal will never come back there again. So that animal now knows that this is his territory, like this animal, this one right here. Now being a mammal, everybody, when it lays the egg, it hatches, this animal does not have a breast. Mammals, all mammals have a breast. This animal does not. So where does the milk come from? The milk comes from the stomach here. Like we all have pores in our skin. Underneath there, the milk will secrete out of the pores. And the milk is not cream or white, not cream or white, the milk is blood red. So this animal, folks, is a really different creature on Earth. Not many people ever get to see one. So that, I tell people, as a kid, and I'm not kidding, is that funny or what? Not really. Thank you so much for being Busch Gardens. Beautiful animal. Yeah, they're very difficult to find, they really are. And I don't know how prehistoric that animal is as well. But it's hard for me to comprehend the animal having an egg.
Come on, come on.
Now a lot of you, I'm sure if you've been around Ohio, if you've been reading the news lately, not lately, let's say I've been out of the country a lot this year filming, but the bobcat, everyone, This one came from a place that someone had that had pneumonia. Now, the bobcat in Ohio came out by the hundreds this year. Not one, hundreds of them. Not just Ohio, Michigan, all of that part of the country. For some reason, I may not know why, I've been out of the country myself. These animals were everywhere. So people didn't know what to do. The bobcat, everyone, is a very bright animal. You see bobcat, you see a tail there? Many of you know this, by the way. You have bobcats here. No, don't you, in Florida? I'm sure you do. That's a bobtail. That's why they call it the bobcat. The animal also has, if you look at the ears here a second, you'll notice the white. See there? Those are called eye spots. The white on the ear. Several cats in nature have the ears here with white spots on them. Some birds have similar things. So all of a sudden, let's take certain cats in Africa, for example, that have white spots behind their ears. Those animals will sit here, that size cat will sit over here and eat something. Here comes the African lion, the king of beasts. The king of beasts, which is like this big, we'll see that cat, let's say a cat like that with white spots. And it's called a serval cat, by the way, in Africa. The serval cat is not even hardly that big, but about that big. And the serval cat jumps in midair. The serval cat, let's say, is over here eating a mouse or a rat, and an African lion comes up like this. Because lions, by the way, have been known to eat other cats, like the cheetah. All of a sudden, the lion sees this thing here and starts walking toward it and then walks away. Why is that? Because the animal thinks this mountain lion doesn't get to see the cat for help. I'm getting out of here. That thing's looking backwards. And even in certain animals in Asia, it's amazing how eye spots, they call them, save these animals' lives. And the bobcat is one, again, everybody that is not endangered, but the our cat, if they're around your house, or around your farm or ranch or whatever you have, you should notify if they're hanging out around your place, instead of maybe taking its life or something. Maybe the game and fish guys, I know most of them are real nice guys, might come in and set a trap and remove the animals to somewhere else. If they stay around a long time, they're studying something around your house. And then one next thing real quick, do you have coyotes here? See, do you have coyotes in Florida or not? See, I hear a lot of yeses. Well, back in the 1950s on our farm, when I was a young boy, if I told my dad I saw a coyote, he'd put me away. No, coyotes were no further here than I think it was Kansas. Now, the coyotes, by the way, are on Long Island, over 100 on Long Island already. Can you imagine an animal adapting to our environment today? How in the world they get all across our country over all these years? Now they can't go any further unless they swim across the ocean. The coyote also, there's an animal, everybody. Definitely, I'll say definitely on that, more than this animal. If they're around your house and they're hanging around, you better call somebody right away. Because that animal is there to take something out. It can be your pet dog or cats, maybe some of your small calves, goats, chickens, I don't care what it is. The coyotes are bright animals, they're a brilliant animal. They're studying what's going on. We do have quite a bit of those here today around our country. So thank you so much for making our beautiful bobcat out. You got a great job saving this for that moment. Thank you. Yeah, Turbo just got through filming the Great Migration with me in Africa. It was an incredible thing, the Great Migration. I never had seen it. Now this lady, you might remember her. This is Susie Rapp, has been at the Potomac Zoo for almost 39 years. She's the one that you saw on Letterman, Good Morning America, the Ellen Show, whenever she arranges all that. But she not only does that, she does a great job with the cheetah. As a matter of fact, Busch Gardens here in Potomac Zoo have some of the greatest collections of cheetahs in the entire world here at Busch Gardens. So we do a lot of breeding loans with each other as well as other zoos. But this isn't penguin, obviously. If you're ever on a game show, everybody, and they ask you, how many species of penguin are there? There's 17 species of penguins, 17 species. The next, this was the character. You should see us checking in a motel when he walks in. It's funny. See there? This one here, he acts like he's awkward with this. Anyway, the penguin, everybody says, well, where are the penguins from? 90% of people say Antarctica. They're from the cold weather. Out of 17 species of penguin, out of 17, only about 3 or 4 live in Antarctica. Most of them live in warm weather. The Galapagos Islands, South Africa. You see penguins in the Magellan Straits, all warm weather penguins. This animal here is monogamous. The penguin mates for life, by the way. They're black and white for camouflage. We used to try and film them underwater, but forget it, that's like impossible. They go like a flip like this, you can't even see them go by with the white bottom and black top there. Now, this is a black-footed penguin from South Africa. Oh, I'm sorry, you stayed out here too long. Excuse me. Well, I wouldn't tell you the motel we're staying in because he had a room for the bathtub all by himself, for gosh sakes. I don't know what more he wants. Anyway, Mom, he has rabies. Be careful. I'm joking.
Look at that. Watch now.
They also have more feathers per square inch than any bird in the world. They have more feathers per square inch than any bird in the world than penguin. But the black-footed penguin, for example, if it was to rain here today, even if this is drizzle, it gets down to, say, upper 30s and 40s with no snow, it's real cold and wet. This animal, after 2 days, will not make it. Because this animal, even though it has more feathers, it's a matter of the blubber in Antarctica. When I go to the bottom of the world in Antarctica to film the penguins down there, the king penguin, the emperor penguin, those penguins, they have a lot of blubber on them. So they can go to 60, 100 below zero. It makes no difference. But these penguins here cannot take cold weather with rain and that kind of thing. So this animal was endangered, by the way, and I think they're coming back very well now in South Africa because we breed a lot of them. And that is an animal that I think will be around for many years to come. So I just want to thank Susie to come to the zoo for bringing me down here because this animal here. Do you remember Happy Feet, by the way? Well, they called me and they said they had to bring this penguin out to Los Angeles to walk over in the park with introduce the movie. Hey, how you doing? Sorry to be bothering you today. This penguin's got it better than most people have. Okay, we'll see you later. You can say the round of applause, right? Now, Susie been through 39 years, like I said, done a great job with the cheetah as well. I never know what's going to happen. See, SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, they have such great shows. They're so well organized. But myself, oh my gosh. Now this looks like a tortoise to you guys, just an old tortoise. But folks, they're a very important animal on the planet. It really is. I'm going to let these guys talk about this one.
Oh, so I have a nice present from one of them here. A little stage fright, but they'll get adjusted quickly, I'm sure. So as you see here, we have two young Aldabra tortoises. So they're decent size from someone that you might see more commonly, but they are very young, only about 4 years old. And they're actually one of the largest tortoises in the world once they reach adult size. They do come off an island just north of Madagascar. They're called the Seychelles Islands, or Aldabra Atoll, which is where their name came from. These are Aldabra tortoises. And they actually, right now, like I said, are very young, but they can reach a size of over 600 pounds. We currently have some in the park that you can go see that are well over, we have one male that's over 500 pounds and one that's definitely well over 6. So, yep, these ones not quite yet, but we'll get there one day in the future. But they're very slow growing. They actually only really eat leaves and grasses in the wild naturally, so we try and keep their diet very minimal as well here. So they grow as slow as possible. And so at 4 years old, they could be potentially very large already, but we try and grow them very slow because they should live to over 150 years of age, actually. Yeah, and they're very capable swimmers, so there's many tortoises here. So if you're out and you find a tortoise here in Florida, do not put them in the water thinking they're a turtle because they can't swim here. But these tortoises actually swim very well. They're capable of swimming from island to island even if they need to. So very impressive species. They grow to a massive size.
The animal also, everyone, the male will have a big curve on his shell underneath, and the females will usually be flat. But like he said, these animals here, especially in the Galapagos Islands, when they had the huge tortoises there, the sailors back in the 1400s, 15, 16, 17, 1800s would go stop there and get a tortoise. Those tortoises, this is Aldabras, right? Yeah. These animals get, what do you say, 600? And the tortoises out there on the Galapagos Islands get to be, I don't know, up to, who knows, 800 to 1,000 pounds. So what the sailors did is they captured the tortoises, put them in the bin of the sailboats, and they could go for literally up to a year with sometimes only drinking water. And it's a terrible thing because they almost took every single tortoise off the Galapagos Islands at one point. They had to stop everything in the late 1800s, which they did stop it because they were just disappearing, the animal was. Because it was used as a food source, for, like I said, 30, 60, 90, sometimes half a year, the animals would live in the belly of the sailboats. And that's all they stopped for sure. So thank you so much for bringing a tortoise, because they're a very important animal. Of course, people use a lot of the shells for jewelry, hair bands, all sorts of things. So from the tortoise shells. Now, all of us throughout the world know that sea turtles no longer use that anymore.
Sloth. It's a sloth.
Now, that's slowpoke, the sloth. Now, a lot of you are sitting out there going, I'm not saying a lot of you, most of you know about the sloth. The sloth lives 90% of his life upside down. 90% of his life is not like that, it's like this. The animal can actually hang by the back feet there, and like this, just hang out by days, he can go like this. Researchers, doctors, all sorts of people have done the research on this. How does an animal, mammal like that, hang upside down almost his entire life? The sloth, everybody, for some reason over the last, I guess, couple of years, is everybody's favorite animal. It must have been a cartoon or some show or something. The animal, by the way, is mostly like the hair and fur all the way up in there. The sloth, this is a two-toed sloth, by the way. If you look up here on this front foot here, you'll see 2 toes there. And this is the back foot is 3. It's 2 toes and 3 toes. There is also a 3-toed sloth that is bigger and has more of a wider face. On the Letterman show about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, way before he left, after we did it 30 years, I just told David Letterman exactly what I just told you. He says, Jack, what's the difference in a 2-toed and 3-toed sloth? One toe, you idiot, I just told you the difference in the show. Anyway, this animal here goes down on the ground 1 day a week. 1 day a week to go to the bathroom. Now, if you went to the bathroom in the treetops, the jaguars, the ocelots, birds of prey would hear that drop to the ground and go up eating. So 1 day a week, about 2 in the morning or whatever it is, he goes down on the ground, goes to the bathroom, goes back up in his tree. They can live their whole lives in 2 or 3 trees, by the way. When you look at those claws there, I did not film this, a friend of mine did. A sloth fell out of a tree, went to a river, a real fast river, and the sloth swam across the river. Now, I've never heard of that, I've never seen it. I thought for sure they drowned it, but how does he swim? Oh, he's got these little claws. It looks like the animal's arms are going like this. It's the darndest thing I've ever seen. I want to see you get a clip of that and show somebody someday, because you'll not believe how this animal can swim if he doesn't hit the water. Also, some people say little sloths make great pets. Well, people used to do that. Most of them are confiscated the minute they're brought into this country. You may think it's slowpoke here, or I have a good friend in Orlando, Florida. She has raised a lot of sloths for people who have brought them in here illegally, or a lot of them are hit by cars and shipped to South America. They don't have the proper clinics there to take care of them, so they're sent over to her. About 2 years ago, I was in Orlando just talking with her and some other friends. We're just standing on this little hillside talking to each other. She was holding a sloth here because she's raised it for like 15 years. She's holding a sloth. I talked to a person over here. All of a sudden, she hit the ground face first. This part of her arm right here is gone. That quick, that sloth did it, that's milliseconds. Went like that, and that she raises. That's why we explain to people about animals like this. It looks like a cute little thing when they're first born. They really are. It's the cutest animal you ever wanted to have. And a lot of people have now stopped it, trying to have them as pets, because it just didn't quite work that way when they get full grown. So I want to thank you for bringing a prehistoric animal, by the way. The prehistoric sloth weighed over 1,000 pounds. Can you imagine that? That was a big back in the dinosaur era. I don't know how big the tree is, but it'd be impossible. Anyway, thank you for bringing that for Columbus. Appreciate that very much. His name is Slowpoke. I like Slowpoke. This right here, buddy, is a lemur, obviously. Now, some of you are sitting back there going, well, what's the big deal? Why are we bringing the lemur out here? What's the big deal about lemur? I've been working in the zoo world since 1969. In Knoxville, Tennessee, Sanford, Florida, Columbus, Ohio. Now we've been for almost 40 years. This is a lemur, everybody. So you're saying, what's the big deal about the lemur? I didn't really know this until several years ago. The lemur was the first primate on planet Earth. Can you imagine that? The first primate on Earth was this animal. So I wouldn't even know the millions of years or whenever that happened. The animal's tail there is like a feather. You can actually take that tail, and there's a bone in there, but how, I don't know. You can take the tail like this, and go like this. You see this? You go like that and blow it off your hand. There's just nothing in there, and I don't know how that happens. That animal uses the tail to locate other lemurs, as well as, why don't you go ahead and, oh, you're on the table. Is that a good lighting fuse turbo right there? All right. Anyway, the lemur there, everybody, is, you see the beautiful coat, it's like silk. They were hunted for their coats for many years. They were also a part of consumption. I know there's kids in here. Consumption as well. That's all been stopped. In the zoological world, spent, I don't know how many, several millions of dollars to save these animals, and by the way, it's starting to work very well now. The hands on that animal, if you look at the hands, the fingers and stuff there, it's incredible as well. And they have the neatest little chirping when they talk as well, it's incredible. You have the red ruff lemur, which this is, the black and white lemur, different types of lemur. And when I filmed there, these animals, by the way, they can be 30 or 40 or 50 of them, all in a big family on the ground. They spend a lot of time on the ground, a lot more on the ground than other primates. So I just wanted to show you basically a prehistoric animal. It was a stretching, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted the bathroom. Anyway, there he is, everybody. A beautiful lemur, not many people ever get to see. Yeah, I forgot for a second. They're from Madagascar, which is an island off Africa. They're not from Africa, they're from Madagascar only. Now this is a kangaroo. Now some people may be saying, oh my gosh, why did that baby kangaroo with the mother? The kangaroo, everybody, has 3 stages of life in one day. 3 stages of life in one day. The kangaroo, for example, this big one right here, I say big one, this youngster here, I always say in another few weeks will be out of the pouch. Now if you're going to go to Australia, and all of a sudden you see a kangaroo that big to the mother's pouch, which they are, all of a sudden the kangaroo could be having that baby leave in about 6 to 8 months. The baby has to leave the pouch. Let's say that animal's still in the pouch. All of a sudden, and that animal's leaving, and all of a sudden, another baby's being born. The baby kangaroo, when they're born, everybody, if you look at your fingernail kids, or go home, parents, and show them a jelly bean, it's one of the most amazing bursts in nature. The animal when it's born is the size of a jelly bean. As far as looking for the ears, you'll see a little, not even a pinhole. Eyes are the same way, you just see a jelly bean, and that little thing is born, and he has to crawl up here to get in the pouch. It's amazing that animal even makes it 1 inch. The little thing crawls like this in the pouch. Let's say the mother's gonna hop in. Well, that thing's on the ground, party's over, it's done. So the one is leaving the pouch, the baby being born goes in the pouch, and she can breathe the same day. 3 stages of life in 1 day. And once she breathes, it's a delayed implantation. It's not like a human 9 months, or like a horse or an elephant 18, 19 months. It's not like we are. This animal breeds is a delayed implantation, which may mean several weeks, several months, you don't know when it's going to be born. So obviously, in the zoological world, if we see that the little baby might be pushed out, sometimes when she's giving birth to that little thing, and this is only this big in the pouch, she'll go like this and push it on the ground. At that point, the animal's not going to make it. But it does have its eyes, and you can hear it, you can see its ears and see things on it, then we can save it. A lot of times in Australia, just push it out and get ready for the new baby. The kangaroo, by the way, can go up to, I would say, 40 miles an hour, 30 feet hopping at a time, and you call it a mob. If you see like 50 to 100 kangaroos or whatever out there in the plains in Australia, it's beautiful. And they call it a mob of kangaroos, like a flock of geese or herd of cattle, it's called a mob. And that back foot right there, if you look at the back foot in a second, you'll see a claw on that back foot. And that animal's full grown. When it stands up, it's this much taller than me. And once he does that, that means a kangaroo is not necessarily looking around. Most all kangaroos, we have a walkabout in Columbus, I think you do here at Busch Gardens, where you can walk with the kangaroos. There's only been one incident where a person lost their life. There was 2 guys about 6 years ago who'd been out to a party, they come home at midnight, they can go out there and try and corner kangaroos, which, you know, a kangaroo is not going to hurt you at all. They cornered a wild kangaroo in the corner, the one guy's no longer there. But he trapped the kangaroo like this, the kangaroo kicks out like this, and the party's over. That's how the animal protects itself from dogs and dingoes and things. They'll kick them. But 99% of the time, dog or dingo does not ever catch them. They're just too fast and they just give up. But the kangaroo's a neat animal, everybody. It's not there to hurt you at all. I've never heard anybody being hurt by a kangaroo, except a kick or two, and then that one guy that just tried to just push himself. That's only one in history. So the kangaroo's a neat little animal, it really is. And it's a marsupial, obviously. And so thank you so much for bringing that neat one here to start. Yeah, it's really interesting to watch kangaroos out there when they're in these places hopping around in much pain. Again, I never know what's going next, but I'll always do the best I can. Maybe it's Bigfoot. Well, I'll see y'all later. I did not know that was coming.
Whoa! Damn.
Or maybe not go out where you are.
Cheetah. Big
No.
boy.
It's a beautiful job they do here at Busch Gardens. Busch Gardens and the Columbus Zoo work together even every daily basically when it comes to cheetah. Busch Gardens and also the Columbus Zoo, there's very few zoos in the country will run the cheetah. When I say run the cheetah several times a day, they will run the cheetah where you see the animal going 50 to 60 miles an hour. We've actually clocked them on our cameras out there up to 70 miles an hour. So when you guys go home tonight, everybody, when you go home, and you're on the interstate, I do this every time with my grandkids who live in England and also here. My grandkids are like, 12 and 13 years old. I say, kids, look out the window. Do not open the window. I say, look out the window. If you guys, adults, go 65 miles an hour, just try it today when you go home. Go 65, especially on Highway 75, wherever that is, even 500 miles an hour, that thing alone. Anyway, if you go 65, watch a car or truck pass you. That's the only way I can explain to you the speed. The cheetah can go past you in 70, going 65 miles an hour. It's the most amazing, fastest cat in the world, honestly. Look at that beautiful animal. You see here what Turbo is showing up there. You see the foot, look at the claws. Look at that. Not many cameras get to pick that up, everybody. Why? It's the only cat in the world with non-retractable claws. The only cat in the world with non-retractable claws. Look at that. Great shot there. If you look at the face a second, Turbo, look at this. What do you see? See the eye, see the dark marks there? Why is that important? Isn't it amazing that the football players, baseball players, like right there, you see the lights? Mother Nature did that, who knows, a million years ago. Because this animal hunts in the heat of the day. When we film this animal, if you want to film lions are usually sleeping in the daytime, they'll make a hit in the daytime to go eat something, but mainly late in the day, toward evening. Jaguars in South America, leopards in Africa. Most all these cats hunt at nighttime, everybody. That's why you see the herds of zebra or wildebeest. You see them get together in big old groups because they know they're going to be hunted at nighttime. In the daytime, these animals, you notice if you watch TV, the animals are out there just grazing around everywhere. But guess what animal's out there? The cheetah. They can be 100 degrees. I don't care how hot it is. The cheetah will hunt in the hottest weather there is because the animals out there eating don't expect they're going to be hunted. Only at nighttime, most of them. The cheetah also is one of the only cats in the world, everybody, that will study their prey. They go out here and say, oh, that animal's sick. Oh, there's another baby. Or there's one over here. And they'll remember that. They may come out the next day. And they'll make their hit when they start running. And that animal is magnificent. You don't need folks. Uh-oh, excuse themselves. Anyway, not many times you get to do that. You see the camouflage on the cat? And that tail, by the way, is used, it looks like it's round, doesn't it? That tail right there, everybody, is flat. So this cat right here, the cheetah, they were declared endangered in Africa 2 years ago. Susie Rat, Busch Gardens, Columbus Zoo, a lot of us spend, I would tell you, probably several $1 million trying to make sure these animals are, yes, they're endangered, but I promise you, me speaking, I don't think they're going to go extinct, thanks to Busch Gardens and the Columbus Zoo and several other zoos that raise the cheetahs. The animal, I've showed out the eyes, the speed of the animal is up to 70 miles an hour, as I said, and what you're seeing here, very, very few people have done the great job that the folks here at Busch Gardens have done. And you may say, well, why are we showing you this? I can sit here and ask the audience, every one of you, maybe not every one of you. How many of you guys seen a cheetah lately? The fastest land mammal in the world. Well, that's why we have these animals. And you just can't, I'm working on right now to bring cheetahs back into certain countries in Africa. A lot of countries in Africa, they're gone forever. Not forever, they're gone because of the poaching, loss of habitat. And the main problem we have, folks, with animals throughout the world, my wife hates this, by the way, I can't help it. Overpopulation. Overpopulation, the good Lord gave us earth. We have so much room for the animals, we have so much room for the people. So what happens is, everybody in this country especially, is an habituation. The animals are getting used to us now, which is not a good thing. When it comes to bears, right up in Montana, when it comes to mountain lions, other animals like that. What you're seeing here, everybody, is really exceptional. I'm just telling you something. I do a lot of speeches. But to see two cheetahs out here like I've just seen just now, and to see the work they have to show you what this animal looks like. You've done a great job here, folks. You really have. We'll be real quiet. Let the wait. Does that mean it's happy? I hope. I'm just kidding. It doesn't mean it's happy. Yes. That is beautiful. You guys have done a tremendous job. And by the way, the cheetah is also to be hunted by the lions, just so you know that. Or the hyenas, for example. They have the speed, yes. But when a cheetah runs, everybody, guess what? It hits its prey, it has to grab here, it has to grab the throat. 70% of the time, 70% the animal gets away from the cheetah. All of a sudden, as soon as she tries the next day, or she has to rest a little bit, or the next day, and she doesn't make it then, the cubs will not be here. She, if she can't do it on the 3rd or 4th, then more than likely she might not. So it's one of those things that the animal has to grab here. When I film tigers in India, that is less than 3 seconds. It's beyond anything you've ever witnessed. A tiger, a full-grown tiger, is powerful. It's beyond like a bomb. When it hits the water buffalo, it's over with in less than 5 seconds. A lion hunts with other lions. The cheetah is a very weak cat when it comes to that because you can see how the animal's built. The claws are used for running basically, and they have to grab up here. And at that point, 70% of the time, the animal gets away. Let's say the cheetah does make a hit, it takes the animal down. In Africa, especially in Africa, buzzards and birds circle over immediately. So lions will come over and take out the cheetah. So the animal has a tough time. And so right now, with what they're doing in Africa, they're doing a good job. And I know hopefully before I retire someday, that we can put those cheetahs back into certain places in Africa. Because it is, oh yeah, one last thing real quick. The cheetah was used as a hunting tool in Egypt. If you go to see the pyramids in Egypt, like I filmed 20 years ago, you won't believe this. They were used as a hunting tool. There were no guns then. There were no anything. The Egyptians, back then, way before who knows, the Egyptians used it as a hunting tool. They'd take out an antelope, they'd take it down, they would run and take the food from the cheetah. It was a hunting tool for the Egyptians. So this animal dates back, there are no more cheetahs, by the way, in northern Africa. You got to go down to where the equator goes through Africa, Kenya, and then right there, that's when you start seeing them go south. So we'll go ahead. I just want you to see one last thing here. That is magnificent. Thank you guys so much. I don't know if can they clap, by the way? Can the audience clap? Everyone, God bless you all. Thank you for coming back to see our finest geological parts of the country right here in Busch Gardens. I would not say that if I didn't believe it. People can see what I mean. It's one of the very popular times of one last thing. Busch Gardens and SeaWorld Parks have given more animals back to the wild than anybody put together in this country. My God, I'm very sorry. The world is going to be there everywhere. And my God, they're always going to be there. These animals here in this park. These two parks are giving more money than I wouldn't tell you how many people put together to save animals throughout this world. God bless you guys that work here. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Turbo. I'll see you in Egypt.